Lately, I've been getting a lot of mixed signals from social media gurus as to whether or not content creators such as myself should be niching down our content. And I think it's a very complex issue, and I feel like it's changing a lot, especially this year. I've seen a lot more people saying that you should just be yourself and talk about exactly what you want to talk about and not really niche down as much. I've been sort of afraid to go outside of my niche as a mountain bike content creator because I've been told for years, I've been doing this for probably about 5 years now. I've been told that you should niche down and just do what's within your niche and kind of appeal to the same audience every time. But a lot of people lately have been saying that you should be doing the opposite and just talk about whatever you want, and that people will follow you because they like you and not your content. Now, I struggle with that a little bit because obviously this is how I've been doing it for so long, and it makes me really afraid to branch out and do something other than mountain bike content. I definitely think there's a lot of upside to creating content about whatever you want because, first of all, if your followers or subscribers really like what you do and they just really like you and just like hanging out with you, which is kind of the idea, because we want our subscribers and our followers to be our friends. We don't want them to just be one-sided. Like, if you had a friend that you were only friends with because you were into mountain biking, are you really friends with that person, or are they just your riding buddy or acquaintance? In addition to that, it allows people that might not be into mountain biking to find you, and then it gets people into mountain biking or whatever your niche is. So say you're into Pokemon cards or something like that, but you talk about kind of general topics as well, then you're going to be able to pull people in from the outside world and bring them into the niche that you have and kind of share your interests with them, which is pretty cool. Which is honestly one of my favorite things about being friends with people, is you meet them for other things and then you start talking to them about mountain biking, you get them into mountain biking, and then they go for a ride with you, which is pretty sick. I think one of the reasons too that people were so focused on making niche content was because eventually you want to get to the point where you can get sponsors and advertisements. I know at least in the mountain bike world, you kind of wanted to stay in that world so that brands would reach out to you and know that, hey, this guy is a mountain bike creator, we're going to sponsor him with bikes and mountain bike related things. And you know, that way you knew that someone wasn't going to reach out to you and try to sell, I don't know, golf clubs or something through you. It was kind of obvious. I think where people worry about this whole niche thing is when you completely switch your niche to something completely different that's unrelated to what you were originally talking about. So if I all of a sudden completely dropped mountain biking and started talking about guitars or something else, like another interest that I have, I think I would lose a good bit of my subscribers. But I'm always going to be a mountain biker. I'm always going to create mountain bike content. So if I talk about something else in a video, I'm hoping that all of my subscribers and followers aren't just going to jump ship and be like, oh, this guy is no longer into the thing that I followed him for, so therefore he's like dead to me, I'm just going to unsubscribe. I don't really think people would do that, to be honest. But I think if you totally switched up and became a totally different type of creator, I think people would maybe, I think at that point maybe is when you should create a different channel or something like that, or maybe start fresh. I mean, you can totally use the same channel if you're gonna stop being that type of creator because you already have the followers and subscribers, but people are probably going to catch wind of that, and they're, you know, if they're not interested in guitars and that's all you're making content about, they're probably going to be like, I don't know, I'm out of here, unless they really like you. So it kind of goes back to that whole, do your subscribers really like you for you, or do they like you for your content? So all the more reason to be genuine and open with your subscribers about all your different interests, and not just be super focused on giving them like crystal clear perfect tutorials that have no humanity in them. So you kind of have to show a little bit of vulnerability, a little bit of openness, and kind of let them into your life a little bit, if you will, so that they can begin to trust you, know you, and see you as a full person and not just somebody that makes helpful videos. Because if you only make helpful videos, like, I don't know, imagine if you just had a friend that was just like super helpful, but they had no humanity to them. They'd almost be like a robot or something. They'd be kind of like an AI robot that doesn't have like a soul. So you definitely don't want to be a soulless creator and just make content that's just purely helpful or purely pragmatic and have no depth to the interaction. Otherwise, people are going to be so quick to just move on to another creator that can do the same thing. I want you guys to kind of know what I'm doing with my life. I want you to know me as a person so that it feels like more of a friendship rather than just an exchange of information, if you will. So I'm washing my bike in freezing temperatures. A key here, this is the tutorial part of the video. Use hot water, go to the bathtub and fill it up. Don't try to use your hose because it's not gonna work. What do you think about this? Would you be stoked to see me do other things, or would you just want me to only make mountain bike content because that's the only thing you care about? And I'm not gonna be mad either way. Like, if you're somebody that genuinely always comments and loves my stuff, but you would just be so pissed if I made different content or focused on that, let me know. Like, I will not be mad. I respect it. I totally get it. I think I would probably want a lot of my creators that I follow to continue making mountain bike content and nothing else, because I would maybe be a little bit upset if they made content that I didn't necessarily like because, it doesn't benefit me in any way. So I totally get that. I see where people are coming from with that, trust me. So that's why I think this is such a dance. That's why it's such a kind of back and forth, confusing topic. And I don't know if there's really an answer to this. I think it really depends on the creator. These tires are just not getting clean with the bucket method. It's just caked on there. I'm gonna have to get the scrubby guy out for sure. I actually have a bike wash stand too. I just can't use it right now because the video would look super overexposed if I filmed it there because of all the snow right now. You can't tell, but there's actually snow on the ground outside right now. I've always been so methodical with my videos and plan them out so much. I want to do more just talking content like this because I think I have a lot of good things to say. I'm just sometimes a bit afraid to say them. And I think a lot of creators can relate to that too, where they're just afraid to put themselves out there. But I kind of am trying to make a promise to myself in 2025 that I'm going to put myself out there a little bit more and be a little bit more raw and just straightforward and just straight up with everybody. Because I feel like, again, that's the best way to make authentic relationships with people, just to kind of give them a glimpse into who you are as a person and what you're actually like, rather than the picture perfect content with no mistakes, a lot of editing and stuff like that, a lot of scripting. So yeah, in the future, you'll probably see a lot more raw takes like this. I love editing. I over edit the crap out of everything. I probably spend more time on the editing process than anything else, because I think that's kind of what I'm good at. But I'm also a super talkative person too. So I'm just gonna try to let that loose a little bit in 2025. It is super cold out here, man. Washing your bike in the winter is pretty crazy. Don't recommend it. I think another really big aspect of the whole niching down versus not niching down thing that we have to talk about too is the algorithm, because the algorithm dictates what does well a lot of the times. And I know that you can basically substitute the word algorithm for audience. A lot of times people say to look at it more as like the audience rather than just an algorithm that you have no control over. But it really does come down to the algorithm and who YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok is actually sending these videos out to. So if my videos are just all across the board, will the algorithm pick them up and know who to send these videos out to? Will it work well? I have no idea. It's really funny. Katie and I's most successful video is actually our video about building our pull-up bar. So if you haven't seen that video, we built a pull-up bar in our backyard, and that's our best video that we've ever made. It did really well. And also the other video that I had that did the best was this Steez video that got 1 million views on TikTok, but it's not really just pertaining to mountain biking. It's about a word, steez, which a lot of people could say that steez is related to mountain biking in some ways. It's kind of anti-niche content in a way, but it also can be related back to mountain biking. And so can the pull-up bar in a lot of ways, because, I mean, mountain bikers are healthy people. They like to work out. So I think the content there wasn't too far out of bounds from what we would normally make. So I think that's why it sort of did well. So that goes back to my point that I was saying earlier of if you are gonna kind of go outside of your niche a little bit, have it be somewhat relatable to your niche so that if people go to your page, they can be like, oh, this is part of this guy's personality. It's just another facet of who this person is, and it's maybe a little bit more meta as opposed to being super niche down. So again, it goes back to bringing people from the outside world into your particular hobby or interest and getting them interested in it and kind of recruiting people, because I mean, there's only so many people that mountain bike, right? So you can only reach so many people after a certain point in theory. So if you're kind of going outside of said niche and pulling more people into it, you're just kind of creating a bigger pool of people that you can create content for, which is good because, I mean, for, you know, say you're selling cars. Okay, that's not a good example. So, like, say you're selling books. If you can make more people want to read, you're gonna sell more books at the end of the day. So, getting people into these hobbies is super beneficial to anybody creating content about a certain topic, because the more interest, the more viewers, just straight up. I mean, it's probably a little bit more complicated than that, but it's really not. I'm getting super dirty and wet. For example, a couple other things that I would like to create content about in the future, and actually some videos I already have made, is about DIY stuff. Like, I really like doing DIY things. I've always been super crafty, and Katie is super crafty as well. She's like, I mean, she's like a straight up artist, actually. She can really do just about anything with materials, which is really cool. So me and Katie's skills together to create stuff, we end up making some pretty cool stuff. Like I said, our pull-up bar video was super successful. We actually just finished another big project, which we have a really big video coming out this year about. That's totally not related to mountain biking, but it's going to be an awesome video, and I kind of think that it will do well, just like the pull-up bar video did well. So I'm kind of excited to share that and see the feedback on that. And I think depending on how that does and a couple other videos that we have is really going to dictate whether or not we keep going this direction with some more DIY content, because we really enjoy that. We really hope that you guys enjoy that, obviously. And yeah, that's just one of the many interests that we have. There's like no way to get these tires clean with the bucket. I really need the hose. But I guess my whole point with this is just look at your content that you're creating and think of ways that you can reach a larger audience without going too far out of the realm of what you're already doing. Find a way to bridge the gap between your niche and the outside world, and I feel like you'll be successful with creating any kind of content that you want to. And of course, in between videos that you're making, you can make videos about anything. Like if I go on a trip, I could totally film that, and I think that my subscribers and followers would like to see stuff like that. So don't be afraid to post whatever you want. I would say that this is just a video kind of talking about why it seems like nowadays so many people are saying either niche down fully or just create whatever you want. And I just think that there's a lot of nuance to this, and I just kind of wanted to talk about it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want more conversations like this, let me know down in the comments, because I would like to hear from you guys, and I'd also like to know if you find this kind of content interesting. And if you're a creator yourself, hopefully you found this video valuable. Definitely subscribe, because there's going to be more of this kind of stuff coming to the channel, and a lot of other stuff too, so it might pique your interest. And at the end of the day, I really hope that you just enjoyed kind of listening to me talk, because that's the whole point of what I'm trying to talk about right now, is that I want you guys just to enjoy hanging out with me, talking about some stuff. If it pertains to you, great. If not, I hope you just enjoyed watching the video. So thanks for watching. Catch you next time. Bro, the pants are just absolutely riddled with water.